and 47 of our United States looking for paranormal activity. So it's been quite the journey for all. And tonight's show is really a big show about questions. I mean, the title of the damn show is Ghosts Do You Believe? We start with questions right at the top. So that's what we're going to stick with. And I think one of the most popular questions that I get as a paranormal investigator is, how does somebody become a paranormal investigator? Which is a fair question for sure. And I kind of feel like in order to answer this, we need to kind of take a look back, all the way back. So if we kind of like zoom all the way out, right? And we take a look at the Earth, our little island home, right? And I call it our island home because just moments ago I said to you all that I look around this theater and I see spirits everywhere. And it's not the spirits of the theater, it's you, and you, and you too. We're all spirits. We're all spirits going through a human experience. We're not from here, we don't stay here. That's why sometimes this Earth feels like something's a little bit off for us, I think, too. But while we are here, it's a great time for us to ask questions. And one of the most popular questions we ask as humans is, well, what happens to us after we die? Where do we go from here? But I always like to look at the beginning of things, too. Spirits going through human experience, well, where the hell were we before we came here? And so to figure that out, we have to look at our origin story. And we all have the same origin story. At some point, we all started with being this little fetus, right? This little embryo. Somehow sperm and egg gets together. There might be margaritas involved, whatever it took. But we got here. And what happens here, there's something very special. They call it the moment of ensoulment. There's this little flash of light that happens when the soul enters the body, or when the energy, the life force, however you want to call it, first inhabits this body. And as we get older, we are aware that this body is not exactly who we are. We identify ourselves by our name or our job or what we do, but we know this isn't really us. I know when I get up in the morning and my back hurts, I'm like, oh, my back, my hip, because I'm getting old, shit's starting to fall apart. But we refer to it as like an external part of ourselves. We're in this weird skeleton-supported meat suit, but we know it's not exactly who we are as we go through this life. Now, as I said, all our origin stories are the same, but not everybody knows theirs. I unfortunately do, because my parents overshare shit like crazy. Mom and Dad were married for 2 years, and Dad was a cross-country truck driver. And Dad always told me growing up, make sure you learn a trade, make sure you go to college. You don't want to be traveling and be on the road your whole life, which is unfortunately what happened, despite me doing all the things he told me to do. But Dad had bought a brand new Peterbilt truck, and he was going to take Mom for a ride in it and give it a little test drive. And they went up on the Massachusetts Turnpike. And while they were there, the weather got very stormy and dark, so Mom got scared and asked Dad to pull over. So he did. He went to the first truck stop that he saw there on the Mass Turnpike. And he went inside and he went and got a nice bottle of the finest truck stop champagne anybody could ever get. So I'm assuming it was like a plastic jug with a big screw top, nothing but the best. And he brought that back to the truck. He and Mom polished off the bottle, and then they crawled into the sleeper and christened that thing a couple of squeaks of the spring, and 9 months later, there I am. And it's weird now, because anytime I'm on that Mass Turnpike and I drive by that truck stop, I'm like, hey, that's where I started all those years ago. Moving forward in my life, we'll move forward about 9 years. I am this poor little bastard. Thank you for the awe. It's awful. It's awful. Look at that kid. My God, I was like 70 pounds soaking wet, and I think 20 pounds was that stupid bowl haircut. But we played an amazing, amazing game for basketball. What an amazing team we had. You know how many games we won that season? None! Not one! None at all! We didn't win one damn game. It was absolutely awful. And that poor guy, he didn't get one rebound, didn't score 1 point. I was the worst player on the worst team in the league. It was fantastic. Not everybody can say that, but I can. Something else happens at this same age, though, at 9 years old. I'm living at this house, 178 Salina Street in Providence, Rhode Island. This is my childhood home. I'm laying there in bed one night. Nothing feels right. Something is definitely off. As I scan across the room, my eyes fix on the door, and I see a tall, dark shadow just standing there. It doesn't seem to have any facial features, but I feel like it's staring at me. And as much as I want to turn away, I can't move. I can't escape its gaze. I'm just paralyzed there. And I know that if I could bring myself just to yell, my parents are at the end of the hall. I could wake them up. They could come help. But I can't do anything. feels like forever, but I finally get the strength to take those covers and pull it up over my head. I say every prayer I learned in school. I just want this thing to go away. I never want to see it again. And I finally muster up enough strength, courage, pulled those covers down. I look around, it's not there. Next night, I come home from school and I go to bed, and I'm terrified thinking it's going to be there again. But it's not. Night after night, I look for it, check the closet, check all the places, it's never there. But now it's kind of planted the seed in my head. I wanted to know more about it. Why did it come to visit me? Why was I able to see it? What was the purpose of it? So I started going to the local library, and I started taking out books about paranormal hauntings and ghost stories of New England and legends, and reading all these things. And I'm trying to talk to people about it because it's exciting. And all I ever get is, oh, well, ghosts don't exist. You can't believe in that. That's not real. But I know I saw something. I had this interaction. I'm in school, and I come across a poem. And I remember some of the lines said, yesterday upon the stair, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I wish he'd go away. And I realized this is written from the perspective of somebody who had an experience, just like I did. Tried to talk to other people about it like I did. And was told, nope, they don't exist. They're not there. But I knew it was there. I had this interaction. I continued my research. I continued to check these things out. Life goes by. I get older. I'm working for CBS and Fox News affiliates in Rhode Island. I'm a camera operator, live truck guy, satellite truck. I come back at the end of the night to bring the trucks back to the yard, put away the camera. People wait for me in the parking lot. I take them out to the woods. We go looking for ghosts. After 9/11 happens, I want a career change. I want to get into healthcare. I become a volunteer firefighter. I'm working as an EMT. I bring the ambulance back at the end of the night and park it. There's people in the parking lot. They wait for me. I take them out in the woods. We go look for ghosts. Now this is a lot of real scary shit because I don't know these people. They don't know me, but I'm the ghost guy and we're going to go out to the woods together and, what's the worst that could happen? There's one night where I go home from work. I don't go looking for any ghosts. As I'm sitting there watching TV, clicking through all the channels, I see these two guys with all this equipment. They're walking around somebody's house, and they're looking for ghosts. I didn't know there were teams. I didn't know you could do this. And then I see the Warwick Water Tower. I'm like, that's 5 minutes from my house. These guys are on TV. They're looking for ghosts, and they're right here in Rhode Island. I run to my computer. I go to their website, the Atlantic Paranormal Society. I email everybody I saw on that show. Nobody writes me back. I wait a couple of days. I drive down to their headquarters, knocking on the door. Ghost Hunter Superfan #1. I want to be a part of it.